Wonder where else I could find comments for my videos, ones that normally wouldn't show up. I mean, it's not like they just grow on trees. This is like the recycling area or something. Let's take a look here, find out. Well, go for a little run. There we go. I know that they're cutting the lawns, they're mowing the lawns. It's kind of loud out here. We'll have to find a way to overcome. What does this say? Okay, so the comment was, I secretly want to go bald. And Robert had this to say, quote, yeah, you do have something of a follicular death wish, I think, but you're conflicted at the same time, end quote. And then, of course, our good friend Maxwell Smart says this, quote, be careful what you wish for. I truly think you won't reach Norwood 4 anytime soon, end quote. So I like that. That helps give me, that helps me along with my character arc. I really, truly do feel that the motivation for me to be able to say that I'm secretly wishing that I'll go bald, because I mean that when I say it, but I think too it's my self-defense mechanism. I'm being so vulnerable and honest with you, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But I think for me, it always comes back down to, you know, I have those habits of the victims versus the victors. And one of them is forgiveness, forgiving other people. Because if you don't forgive a person, then you lose. It's like swallowing poison and expecting them to get sick and die. You're the one that gets sick and slowly dies. You're the one who carries the burden, not them. So if you forgive a person, you take their power away from them to where they can't hurt you. Even if you can't forget what they did, you take their power away and you get power back over your own life. And I think for me, it's kind of that way. If I can go ahead and face my fear head on, and I use that word reluctantly. I don't want to say that I fear hair loss, because I truly don't believe that I fear hair loss. But see, that goes back to if you, whatever fears there are in life, if you face them head on and say, let's do this thing, well, then you win because you're ready for it. So whether it happens in 20 years or whether it happens next year, I mean, that's how it is with death, which again, amazingly, we're distracted by so many petty things that we're not, so many of us are not worried about dying. We're not assuming that we could die on the car ride, you know, home tomorrow, whatever. You know, but when it comes to hair loss, I feel that I take its power away by being ready for it, like almost inviting it. So I don't know. I mean, is that a defense mechanism? It probably is by default. If I take all of its power away, I mean, and it goes back to the other thing I said before too. How if you know, whatever, the fact that no one can offend me because I take that power away from them. I mean, if someone did say, man, Nick, I'm noticing your hairline's going up there, man. You're gonna be bald by the time you're 40. And if no one says that, but if they did, I'd be ready, and I'd just laugh and I'd say, hey, if not sooner, give me a year for all I know. And that would take the power away from them instantly. If I own up to that very thing, I take power away. See, that's the thing. I take power away from people and things that would otherwise control me. So I totally get where Max is coming from, you know, don't wish for it. But it is, I think, a follicular death wish. I think that's fair to say. Because here's the way I look at it. I get so many younger guys especially show up on my channel. They say, oh no, I'm freaking out because I'm going bald. And it's just this state of fear that, oh no, tragedy, despair, loss in the world. And I want nothing to do with that sort of mindset. So I think it only explains why I run the other way, and I run toward it and I say, okay, let's do this. And you know, my wife, we've been married nine years now. And she always says that to me. She says, man, you are so cut and dry. You are so black and white. It's either all or nothing with you. And that's for better or worse. It's for better when it's things like my commitment to her, you know. but at the same time, I am very headstrong. When I know where I stand on an issue, you're not going to be able to budge me, you know? And that's how it is with my hair loss. I mean, I'm convinced that I know I'm going to go bald anyway. So why let that linger over me, you know? Why have to wonder, well, when am I going to go bald? Is it going to be 40? Is it going to be 50? When? See, I don't have to ask myself those questions. I mean, I can think, I wonder, but I don't care. So yeah, how do we word this? Do we say this is a defense mechanism? Do we just say this is my way of therapy of dealing with it? But I just don't feel like there's a fault with this way of thinking, of saying, you know what, if I'm ready for it all the time, then I'm not going to be worried about it. And then I can contrast all those other guys who are freaking out about it on a daily basis, and they give it all this power. And whereas I take away the power and say, hey, I'm eager to adopt this new version of myself. I'm eager to be that thing. I'm okay with it. So yeah, that's psychologically what I'm doing. And honestly, I never really thought about it until those comments showed up on the video that I made. That's my defense mechanism.